but yeah, essentially, so let's kind of start like, so you and I worked together actually. We did some property management, right? You were my boss at the time, and then we both I started obviously this business maybe a year and a half ago, give or take, and then you actually, you got laid off from your job, and you're kind of wondering what you're going to go find another job, and then you decided that instead you're just going to start your own thing. So you got the construction going, you got the property management on the side, so you got two businesses rolling, and now essentially you're looking for, what's the next thing? How can you get some more leverage and go up from there? Does that kind of summarize it pretty well?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the got my carpentry business and my property management business, and um, but yeah, no, it's got some free time to start looking at other opportunities, and yeah, the leverage as explained to you by me can always be higher, and this seems like a good way to do it.
Yeah. And so you're looking to, I got Chris calling me. You're looking to start an SMMA? Is that it sounds like?
Uh, if an what is it called?
Social media marketing agency.
Social media marketing agency. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you say that is the move, so yes.
It really is. Like it's a really good starter move because it's it's relatively high leverage. It's very low barrier to entry. The only thing that you're potentially sacrificing is some time, and why not, take a gamble? Well, it's not really a gamble, honestly. If you just like stay consistent with it and keep it going, like it's just a surefire way to get a business going. Make some profit, help some people out with their business, growing it up, and yeah, and then you learn the game of business, and then once you feel comfortable with that, you start managing a team, etc. You can kind of transfer it into a higher leverage vehicle. Is the idea?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's where you've been at for a little while.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's you've talked me out of some other stupid ideas, so this idea sounds sounds pretty good.
Yeah, for context, Curtis came to me today with he wanted to do some day trading of crypto, and that was his new wealth creation method. That was going to be the play, which I mean is fine if you're down to like, I don't know. You might as well just take your profit from your current businesses and go down and play slots all day.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's a little better depending who you are, and you can actually read the market a bit, but yeah, it's not great. Business is just like you do this, you do this, you do this, you make $1 million. GG. You're making $1 million, then you systematize everything, scale it up a little bit more, and then sell it for what, 8 figures, and then you can live a pretty good life on 8 figures. But 8 figures is kind of guaranteed if you're not. I mean, if you can tie your shoes in the morning and you can stick with something, then you should be okay.
Okay. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean, what kind of questions do you have? Or is anything really
You gotta walk. Where do we get started? How do we get started?
the model? So essentially, what you're gonna want to do is you figure out what kind of service you're going to provide. You got to select yourself a niche, right? So for instance, I do specifically pay-per-click marketing campaigns on Facebook for currently commercial roof coating guys. Um, Now you can do any niche. I really like the commercial side of things, and I also like the lead generation side of things for local guys. I think that's a really good play because commercial guys, they got deeper pockets than residential people. Um, and they also have like a good referral network generally, a lot better than residential. So that's kind of my advice. I was telling Chris recently because he was asking me. He's going into doing commercial HVAC guys, but I kind of like blue collar commercial stuff. That it's pretty replicatable.
Yeah, one of those. Has Chris gotten started yet?
Yeah, he did. He's doing it for one of his friends, and then he almost closed his first deal.
No shit.
Um, Yeah, he had the guy say yes and everything like that, and then I think it fizzled out on him. So he's just got to keep it going. Now, what he did off the start, he immediately went in and started running his own ads for himself to promote himself. So I'm definitely a big advocate of running ads, for your agency essentially. But the free way to do it off the start is I started by sending 500 emails a day. I kind of had a bit of a system. It was all manual, but like I had a system, so it took me about 20 minutes to get 500 emails out. And usually by the morning the next day, I'd probably have like 2 or 3 people say yes, I'm interested. So a couple leads that way, and then cold calling as well.
Nice. So if you were sending 500 emails per day, because I know probably at the time you were doing 500 emails per day, you were probably more focused on spray foam.
Yeah, that was back when we started residential spray foam stuff. So I just made 10 Gmail accounts and sent 50 per day from each, essentially. Um,
Why didn't you send them all from the same account?
you're gonna get your shits. You'll get flagged for spam, and they won't reach the inbox if you send more than 50 a day.
Okay. No more than 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I would imagine just off the top of my mind, I mean, I have the capital to run.
Ads.
Uh,
I'd run ads right away then, for
okay.
sure. Run ads right
Uh,
away. It can be simple. Kind of like the formula I sent you the other day with the ad copy. You're kind of calling people out at the top. You're kind of incentivizing them. You're pushing into their pain points a little bit. You're selling them the dream, like the vacation, not the plane ride, if you
yeah.
know what I mean. And then you're creating urgency, scarcity, etc. And then to be honest, what I would do too to really get started is your first 2 clients, maybe 3 clients, do it for them for free. That's how I started. That's how I suggest everybody else start too.
How do you, like, what did you say to these people when you said you're going to do it for free? Were you just like, I'm new to this, like, fuck it, let's just do it for free?
You don't want to sound like a complete newbie, right? Who's just gonna go and blow all their budget. Be like, I've been learning from. I tell Chris because like I've been coaching him a little bit lately. I just tell him, hey, I've been learning from this guy who does this at like a large scale. And then he suggests that I do it off the start for just a testimonial, so I can build up a couple testimonials. So there's still a value exchange, right? But it also
Yeah.
gives you the opportunity to, like, if you do fuck it up, well, you didn't charge them and now they're not super pissed. It is what it is and you just move on. But it's pretty simple not to fuck it up.
Yeah. I mean, what are these guys, like, what's these guys' usual ad spend?
1,500. So I anybody that we sign starts at 1,500 ad spend. Now I'm capping them at 2,500. If they want more, then they have to pay me additional monies to manage, a higher ad budget.
Right. But the standard entry point is like 1,500 bucks. It's fairly
I like 1,500, 50 a day. Yeah, you can
good.
get good results with that. I mean, you could do 1,000. Probably wouldn't go less than 1,000, but yeah, I like 1,500.
Gotcha. Um, okay. So, how long has Chris been in the game?
Well, Chris basically started when a little bit after I started. He got into it not last summer, the summer before, and he was kind of he got a little bit of traction there. But the thing with Chris is he kind of he has ADHD with business models. He's got a new thing every week that he wants to pursue. Essentially, the biggest thing is like with this model, all you have to do is just stick to it, keep working on it. You don't even have to like go insanely hard or anything like that. Obviously, the more input, the better the output. But like if you just stick with it and you're consistent with it, it's like anything in life. You go to the gym every day, you're gonna get jacked. If you work on this every day and you don't deviate, because the grass seems greener every time, but then as soon as you swap over to the new thing, you realize, oh shit, this is actually hard too, and
Yeah.
and then you're at step one again. So just keep with this, learn the game, and then when it makes sense to like swap into something which has a higher leverage potential, meaning less inputs for you equals greater outputs, then you swap over once you've learned the game. But this is a really, really good starter business model so that you can just learn how it all works.
Yeah. No, I guess what I meant was like, when did Chris start going hard on it and almost get one client? Like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, like last
Okay.
month, maybe a
Okay.
month ago.
That's
Um,
not one client. So like, what was Chris was gonna probably try to sell on spending, say for example, $1,000 or $1,500 ad spend, and
yep.
Chris was gonna charge him.
That last one, Chris is going to charge him like $500 or something. I was telling him to do free. He wanted to push for some rev, and it didn't end up working out. I mean, if you can get some money, then great. But yeah, I don't know. I'd suggest just do it free off the start.
Okay. So Chris went after commercial HVAC guys.
Yeah, and then like to be fair, he went after it's okay to get kind of anybody. So he went after HVAC guys, not necessarily commercial. Um, which is fine, I think, for your first client or the first little bit, as long as you can get your foot in the door, get it rolling, and then maybe hone in on commercial. I don't know. That being said, maybe just run your ads to commercial, and if you accidentally get a residential, it is what it is. You're trying to just learn the game, make sure that you can deliver the results, and then as soon as you're confident in your ability to deliver, that's when you can start charging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, makes sense. So yeah, like you were saying, you could even, if you wanted to do something for free, your script would kind of be like, um, I'm working with, for example, you. I could almost like affiliate myself with you, kind of incognito, and be like, I'm just getting started, or not that, but I could be like, I'm new to this agency, and my first clients I'm doing it for free. That's the way it is.
Yeah, essentially, you can just say too, like I've ran some Facebook ads and everything like that before. Um, I'm swapping over to this niche to these HVAC guys, and I want to build up, a following, get some testimonials under my belt. So I'll do it for you for free. Don't position
Yeah,
yourself as a complete bot off the start.
yeah,
Yeah, position yourself with some authority so that they have confidence in giving you some money to play with. But yeah, I'd be honest with them straight up. This is the reason I'm not charging you is I'm relatively new over here and I need to get some testimonials under my belt, essentially. And then the thing
gotcha.
is too, once you're good, once you start providing them, good results, let's say they start closing jobs off you. Now you come back to them, hey, I want 1,500 USD a month, and they go no. Then you go, okay, I mean, I'm working with all these other guys now. I can't really work with you anymore. I just don't have the time. And then they'll acquiesce and actually give you the money.
Yeah,
Or more likely, if you get them results, they'll just say yes off the start.
yeah. Pretty easy to ask for money when it's making money at that point, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you have any industries that come to mind apart from HVAC and roofing? I mean, obviously I'll
Oh,
do my own research, but I don't know if you had any hot tips.
honestly, I kind of like the idea of hair transplant. These guys run ads for them. That seems like a play. I don't know how many hair transplant clinics there are though, so maybe you're limited in your total addressable market.
I'm
Your
sure there's
TAM,
tons.
I'm sure there are. They might all be in Turkey. I don't know. I don't know. I bet you there are. I like that. I mean, I've heard water softening, like people who install those kind of machines, HVAC, plumbing, uh, insulation. I did insulation off the start. I think that's fine. Client of mine out in Toronto, he also does a lot of his business is waterproofing. I'm actually
Yeah,
not super familiar with waterproofing. I'm sure you know a bit more, but I mean, I like these commercial guys that are in like construction, and I mean, obviously, you've kind of got like a carpentry business. I'm sure you could probably come up with a couple yourself. But what you're looking for essentially is you want and to pick an industry that's not oversaturated. So things like med spas, things like roofing, like residential roofing, that kind of thing. These are all saturated ones that like everybody who gets into SMMA goes and hits just because they have no creativity. Ideally, you want to pick one that's like not super saturated that you don't hear a bunch of people in. One where they get big ticket items. Um, I like a referral network. Um, what else are you really looking for? Those are kind of the main things. Yeah, you just want to make sure that you can provide these guys value.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Essentially, right?
yeah. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I, for example, actually, me in particular, maybe not HVAC, but kind of. Just like I know more about construction than you and Chris. So
Yeah,
I mean, I can kind of relate to them. Some people like that, right?
yeah, totally.
Unfortunately, carpentry is kind of a shitty one because carpentry is kind of, as you probably know, it's kind of like it's usually like a one man show, or it's like,
And low margin. It's
yeah,
you kind of go in there and you get paid for your time, and it's not like you have a product that you can kind of implement.
yeah, it's just not really a commercial type thing, even though some people there are commercial businesses.
Yeah,
But that being said, I can still say I've been in construction for 10 years, and you
totally.
know, yeah,
Yeah,
so
leverage that.
I can relate to these people.
If you can talk the talk, like that's exactly what you want to be doing, right? If you can
Yeah,
go in and you can use like the keywords that they kind of use in the industry and you understand them, they're going to be like, okay, this guy does understand. And the thing with niching down into like a specific thing is you come in, you're slinging the colloquial, the verbiage, whatever.
yeah,
Um, you're slinging that, and they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He markets only for these guys. Okay, I'll trust him. and then done. You're the guy, right?
Okay.
Um, yeah, and that's the idea. And then the crazy thing too is we kind of are at the verge of like there's so many things that you can do with AI, and so this is such a high leverage thing. Like you just yourself, you could easily have 15 clients. Maybe at that point you definitely want to start, hiring some people. I started hiring talent from the Philippines. You definitely like you could do 15 clients yourself, and you could be making like I don't know 1,500 USD a piece. You know what I mean? So it's like without any really cost other than maybe 1,000 or two for software. Uh, that's it.
What,
Ad spend. Hmm?
yeah, that's their cost. I mean, that's direct.
Well,
No-
you run your own ads to get clients too.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, maybe maybe we want to take this like step by step. Obviously, if I had, for example, let's just say 2 weeks from now, I had a client who I was trying to onboard, we'd probably just do another call. He'd probably help me with that, eh?
Um, yeah, I could give you tips and stuff. I could probably send you over like a recording of an onboarding we did. The only thing is, I don't want to hold your hand too much because I want to, give you the agency, obviously,
Yeah,
to go ahead and do it yourself, get that confidence. So, when I'm not there, you're cooking. But
yeah,
I could definitely give you tips and like I could show you my onboarding SOP and everything.
yeah. Now, like as far as like what you're actually selling, like what you're doing for these people, like it's not hugely different than, for example, what I did for myself that you taught me to do, like 2 days ago, right?
Which one? What do you
When I
mean?
was setting up my ad for my property management 2 days ago.
Oh
Not
yeah,
huge.
no, that's essentially what you're doing. Yeah,
Okay.
simple.
Uh,
Eventually, like I like videos, so I've got an editor who puts together some videos and stuff. But like I certainly started with just like a static image of you know spray foam when I did it, and the copy looked very similar to what I gave you the other day. Um, and yeah, and you just start getting leads. And when you start with SMMA, you'll just be sending these guys leads. You'll set them up on a CRM called Go High Level, which is pretty easy to set up. And then eventually, what you would look to do is I've hired an appointment setter. So whenever these, their clients, your clients get, they fill out a survey. I have somebody who calls, those applicants right away and tries to book them into the client's calendar
right,
for
because
an estimate.
yeah, because I guess your point being is you want to be contacting them, like you want to strike when the iron's hot. Right?
Speed to lead super super important. There's some study, I think it's out of Harvard or one of these Ivy League schools, and it's essentially like if you get to a lead within like the first 2 minutes versus an hour later, you have like your chance of closing them is like 5 times greater. Now those numbers aren't verbatim, but it's something to that effect. Like it's
Yeah,
ridiculously important.
yeah. Um, so what does Go High Level do?
Everything. I have Go High Level for everything. I've integrated it with Facebook. All the leads get automatically ported into Go High Level whenever they fill out the survey. That's where I've set up my call center. So you can do automations in there. It sends out automated text to clients. It sends out automated emails. You can do mostly everything you're going to need on Go High Level. You can do it. Mostly everything
Right.
you can need for an SMA. You can do on Go High Level. Go High Level is
So
powerful.
as far as like when you're dealing with leads and clients and messages and stuff, like you're not even really needing to go to like Facebook Business Suite. You just go, it just
It
directly goes
just
right in.
it ports to Go High Level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, good. How much does that cost?
Uh, the starter, you can get a starter one for, there's a trial that you can do for a month. Actually, ask Chris though, because I think he was getting like the trial over and over and it kept letting him renew. But for the one that you'll need, it'll be 297 USD per month.
Oh, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. But at the same time, as soon as you sign one client, like for money, you're in the green, you know?
Yeah. Couldn't you? I mean, Go High Level sounds like a necessary convenience, but like let's say you could probably go without it for first couple clients.
You could. I mean, the way that I looked at it though is when I was getting into it, I'm like, I'm going to make this work no matter what. I'm going to get some clients. I'm just going to set this up the way I'm going to use it going forward from the start and get it done over and
Yeah.
done with, taken care of. There's a 1 month trial too. So like,
Right.
to be honest, if you can get, if you can start running a couple ads, maybe you're spending, even if you spend like 10, $15 a day, keep it nice and light for the first little bit. You get some ads going, you get a couple people on trial. There's a good chance you're going to be closing your first retainer, and it's a monthly retainer model before that 1 month is even up. And I would suggest probably starting at 1,500 USD per month
For
um,
for the client ad spend?
for the client ad spend, but also for your monthly retainer.
Oh, that's what you charge. That's your commission.
That's your commission. So since I implemented the call center and everything like that, mine's at 2,500 per month, but I would start with 1,500 per month. Yeah,
Right. So a client, like I said, say I got a client, they want to have $1,500 ad spend. Basically, they're paying
3K. Yeah,
Okay, so you'd recommend $1,500 for a paying client,
yeah.
USD.
Just to start until you can get the call center and everything like that, and you feel a bit more confidence. Because at the start, you're just going to be essentially sending them leads and giving them automations to let them know when they have a new lead and to follow up. And the onus is on them, which is fine. But you'll be able to cater to more people and serve a better product once you can actually call them. But like for the start,
Just
it's just lead generation.
just get the lead in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like back to speed to lead. So how are like how is so like are like similar when you set it up for me like a year and a bit ago,
Hmm.
um, like are we still walking or like are you setting are you basically are you getting them to give you access to their Facebook page so you can set up the business suite?
Yeah. So on the onboarding call, so they'll be closed. They'll be, there's a kind of a demo you show them how everything works, blah blah blah. You try and sell them, right? And then once they do that, they do an intake form, and then they do an onboarding call. On the onboarding call, I'll have them give me access to their Facebook so that I can run it via their Facebook page and their ad account.
Right. What if it's linked to like their personal Facebook?
It has to be linked to a personal Facebook page. That's fine.
So I mean, people are giving you access to their personal Facebook.
With your personal, you set something up called a business manager, and with the business manager, they create their ad account. They have everything set there, so they're giving me access to their page, their business page, and their ad account. So I don't have access to their personal, but
Oh, okay.
you can
Yeah,
do that.
I think I is that kind of the same thing as like I had a Facebook page for my dad's business and I just added someone the other day. I think it was like under like roles and something.
Yeah,
Um, okay. So
kind of.
and then yeah, as you told me the other day, um, basically like they're entering their own credit card information for the ad spend.
Yep.
Okay. And so what was the company you were using to get paid yourself again?
Oh, it's Stripe.
Okay.
That's just a payment processor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Stripe. That's like the biggest one. Uh, you can use PayPal. You can use whatever. Stripe's really easy because they can just put their credit card in there. I
Right.
would definitely suggest getting a backup one eventually. I don't have a backup one yet. I haven't had issues, but it's something that I should do definitely,
A
just
backup
as
one.
a
Oh, it's like
payment
Stripe,
processor.
having Stripe and PayPal or whatever.
Having Stripe and then like something else. If Stripe decides that they don't want to process your transactions anymore because sometimes they're iffy.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh. Um, yeah. So, I mean, basically, I mean, basically, like two questions. Just grab another notepad. Yeah, basically, just like if there were two action plans that I needed to know right now, and one would be like, where do I start? And I think that answer is fairly obvious. I just start running ads for myself or sending cold emails.
I'd start with both, to be honest. I would send you to a guy called Max Persson. Now, he used to have like a website. Now it's on a school group, which is kind of Alex Hermosi's
Yeah,
platform. Um, and he has a really good one there, and that actually teaches you how to do a lot of the technical setup. Now, it's not necessarily the best for how to run it after, but it's got it's really good for technical setup, and you can blow through that like this week for sure.
that's focused on SMMAs.
It's yeah. So he used to have an SMMA. He got it to 50K a month, and then he kind of changed to he made a guide on how to do it, and then his business model now is just like school groups, but he got his SMMA to 50K a month, and yeah, he's got some pretty good stuff there. He's got a snapshot that you can upload into your Go High Level and everything, how to set up your Go High Level, all that. Um, yeah, it's got all the technical stuff there, which is really nice. And then the one thing that I also would suggest is like I am definitely a proponent of paying for like if somebody's got a bunch of good educational YouTube content and stuff like that, and you're learning a lot from them, and they have some offer or whatever it is, I'm definitely a proponent of paying for that. So I got Agency Lab. We probably paid over 20K over a year to them. Um, I got I got a call center mastery thing that was only like 2K because it was when he was building it, so it was like the beta, if you will. I've paid like 20 grand to this other girl for some systems and stuff that I thought were decent. Just like, and then yeah, I messaged you today. I just paid 13 grand to get into Dan Martell's like elite group or whatever. I'm definitely a proponent of spending your excess capital and increasing your own earning potential.
Okay. Would you recommend I blast through that before I set up an ad for myself? I mean, Chris
Yeah,
clearly
yeah, yeah.
did. Chris? Probably.
I don't know whether Chris did or not. Chris was like not starting with Go High Level for a while. He's kind of doing it the troll way. But the thing is, like if you're gonna be doing that, like I just don't see that as having confidence in the fact that you're gonna pursue this. You know what I mean? When I started
Yeah.
it, I just went all in. I'm just like, this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna become a millionaire. That's
Yeah.
what I decided to do. And like realistically, if you get everything up and running, I know you're a hardworking guy yourself. You could be making 100K a month in 12 months. Within 12 months, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah. No, I'm.
you see it.
Yeah. No, and I have as you know, I have like a bunch of capital that I'm not doing anything with. So,
Bro's flexing like that.
well, not really. I just don't know what to do with it. But you're
Yeah.
so right. Investing stupid. Um,
Investing's fine, but you're kind of like you're limiting your earning potential, and your earning potential is the best investment you can make. You
yeah.
know.
Especially when you're 28.
Yeah. Yeah. You're still a young
Um,
guy. I can get it done.
how much do you think? How much do you think an appropriate personal ad spend would be per month out of the out of the gate?
I don't know. Try 1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go too crazy. You can test a couple things, see what works. As you get happy, as you start closing some clients, like, bro, honestly, you should be able to close some trials relatively quickly. Um, yeah, the you'll learn through Max's thing, like kind of the demo deck a little bit. He gives you a ton of stuff, like a ton of free resources to get you set up. It's really powerful. That's where we started. And the one thing though that he tells you to do that I disagree with, he says to hire a media buyer immediately. Just watch some YouTube videos. You can figure out how to media buy pretty
Yeah.
easily. Run the Facebook ads, make the ads. That's called
Oh, and
media buy.
that's kind of what you tried to do right at the start, right?
That's what I did. That's what I did. We were successful with it. I think my first client wasn't like that happy with the results, but we didn't charge him anything, so it is what it is, you know. Um,
But
but
now it's
then
like,
we
but
figured
you
it out
learned.
pretty easily. I outsourced it. I got a guy from the Philippines. He cooks it up. Bro's a G. I don't do any of that. That was my first hire actually, and now I'm actually technically I'm out of the day to day, right? So now I can, if I don't go to work for a day, nothing's gonna fall apart. It's gonna be fine. And I can actually spend my time working on the systems, working on the people, the culture, etc., and building the thing as opposed to working in it, slaving away, which is cool.
Right. Now, like, I'm sure I'm wrong, but like everything I've seen you do, I've only seen a few, and like what you've helped me do for my companies. I mean, it seems so obviously like you can make it more complex with videos, like you said, video editing and stuff. Like it seems so simple. I can't imagine why you would ever pay anyone to do it.
Um, I mean, why do you pay people to cut your grass? Why do you pay people to clean your car? Why do you pay people to
Yeah,
change?
I guess, but like my point being is like, like unless I'm missing something, like I definitely could like to. put it simply, like obviously I put my own twist on it, I'll get better at it, but I could definitely copy your ad templates. Like I'm definitely capable of that. I'm like, why would I pay some dude to do
Um, so we right now the idea is like you get started and it's because people don't know how to do it and you're providing them a service and it's more valuable for them to be working on their business than worry about this marketing shit. So that's the idea off the start, and then I'm also like constantly trying to make mine better. So for instance, like I'm calling them right away, they don't have the headache of calling, right? That kind of thing. I schedule everything. I make sure the leads are all looking good. I'm constantly updating the leads, like the ads and everything like that. So it's like it's a whole process. You're providing a service at the end of the day. Why do you pay anybody to do anything for you? Why do you go
that?
to a
Yeah, no, I get
restaurant?
it.
You could
I
cook at
get it.
home,
Yeah, I
right?
get it. I personally spend money on stuff I never thought I would spend money on. As soon as I started making money, I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah,
Like, for example, like YouTube, like I personally like I I never want to work on a vehicle again in my life. I make way more money fucking doing carpentry, so I'm just gonna go lease a brand new
yeah.
truck.
Bro, I used to change my tires. I'm never gonna
Yeah,
change my tires
no, I'm
again.
never gonna
It's
change.
fucking shitty.
I'm never gonna fucking wrench on my own vehicle again in my life. It's just not worth my
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like the most blatant example of like my time being more valuable than not spending the money, right?
Yeah,
So I get that. So so I guess where we'd be right now is if we had to establish or put into words the action plan for getting set up. A good action plan would be step one, do Max Persin's course, and
yeah,
step two, oh, and it's somewhere in there, pick an industry, and then
yeah.
so let's say pick an industry. Step two,
That's
step
in Max
three.
Persin's course too, though. He kind of walks you through a few things that you can consider. But
Okay,
yeah, you pick your niche. Essentially, go through his thing first, get some ads rolling, and then essentially, like the idea is that just your whole goal after you've done that and you set things up is you don't want to get too bogged down. You don't need a website. You don't need this. You don't need business cards. You don't even need to get legal. I don't give a fuck if you do any of that. The idea is that you need like business. What a business is money in. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like at least get some clients, even though money's not coming in right away. At least get them on a trial. That way you can start providing value. To get money in, you have to provide value. So you just want to start providing value as soon as possible. That's all you want. Find some guys that you can run their ads, um, and then from
yeah,
there, just from there, the entire game is, bro. It's like the your whole life in school, you're kind of given a problem and you got to figure it out. And there's only one right answer, and then you're given a job and you've got like a certain set of things. This is literally just like it's all you have to do is continuously learn. But the whole game is identify your bottlenecks, figure out how you're going to fix that problem. That's the whole game. It's fucking fun.
it's just like carpentry. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, I guess yeah. Then if it were a three-step action plan just off the gate to get started, it would be Max Person, pick a niche, which he'll help me do, and then get some ads popping, and then try to get a couple people signed up, probably for
Yeah. And then message Chris and tell him that you're blowing him out of the water. Make sure he knows.
free. Okay, okay, that all sounds good. So I mean, I got Max Person, run some ads, $1,000 a month, do that. Pick a niche, get a couple, get a couple people to go on the trial, get a couple trial dudes. Now, okay, and the other action plan I would be curious about is like just down the line more. I mean, if we could touch base on this later, we could touch base on this now briefly. Yeah, so like what? So like on an onboarding, like so. Okay, so pre-onboarding call, like sales call, like what are you telling these people? Like when they're interested in what you're selling.
Essentially, hey, why were you interested in our thing? You kind of want to dig into why they were interested in your thing, right? Like, what have they done before? Blah blah blah. You kind of get them to dig into their problems. You figure out like you want them basically to eloquate why they're upset about their situation or why they want like there's you want them to sell themselves essentially. So you dig in, you ask a bunch of questions, and then essentially you say, okay, well, essentially based on what you've told me, what we've got here could work for you. How about we set up like a demo? And then you go through the demo. Max Person should give you a demo, and essentially you'll just go through. You say, this is kind of how it works, blah 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 blah. Here's the deal, and you know what? I will give it to you because I'm just transferring into this niche. I'm just transferring into HVAC. I'm just transferring into carpentry. I'm just transferring into fucking I don't know bicycles ads. I need a couple testimonials, so I'm willing to do this for you for free. Just give me a testimonial once I get you great results, and they'll go, yeah, of course, I love you, and then
Yeah.
you sign them up, you onboard them, bing bing.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And then yeah, like I imagine like some typical questions you get is like probably like the most normal question. If I was gonna give somebody $1,500, I'd be like, well, what are you going to do? And I'd be like, well, I'm gonna get you leads via Facebook, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay. What's a good CPL?
Well, it depends on the industry. Over residential spray foam and commercial, like I'm pretty happy if it's under 50 cost per
50
lead.
bucks per lead.
Yeah,
And with roofing,
same. It's worked out at the same so far. I think 50 is fine.
because that's and then if you can say that, that's actually like good sales. Like if you could just tell a client that, be like, why would you spend $50 to land a contractor?
Yeah, a lot of them too. They've used Angie's List before, and they pay for a lead there, but that Angie's List will sell the same lead to like 10 guys, and then everybody's fighting over it, and it's trash. Like this is actually like leads directly for you. We've got people interested, and they filled out a survey. They're pretty qualified. Take it from there, kind of shit.
Gotcha. How long, if we were to turn back the time and let's say you were working on your fifth or sixth client ever, how long were you usually spending on like one ad? Like a couple hours?
Well, the thing is, you go for one niche, right? So you can just copy. It's
Yeah.
cookie cutter. You can use the same ads for everybody. You just change, the call out. Hey Ottawa. Hey Korea. Hey fucking Japan. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that raises another question too. It's like, let's say for example, I was doing commercial plumbing. Like, do you just kind of like do a little market research and be like, could probably be successful in like Washington State? Mm,
I run I run my ads to Canada and the U.S. and then whoever contacts me. I've built like a little map. So um, I've got like a little map of like all the areas that I actually have clients in, and you don't want to oversaturate one market. Like if you got 10 guys in one market, then it's going to be a pain in the ass. But you can fit like two or three in the same one. But like yeah, I- I'm advertising everywhere.
Right. So like when you're setting up your own ads, you're basically typing in Canada, USA.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, advertise to Canada and USA. Um, Seems reasonable. Um, yeah. Do you have like any clients like where like the results were just dog shit and like they paid you?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, like, usually we get good results. Sometimes it just like gets away on you, and for whatever reason, whatever you're doing just isn't hitting. And you'll lose clients here and there. There's churn. The idea is to like minimize churn as much as you can. That's part of why I put in like the call center and everything, the appointment setting. You'll get churn. You'll get people who are kind of choke sometimes, but as long as you do right by everybody and you try your best to make sure you're getting good results, that kind of thing, then you'll have it work. Like I've got a KPI tracker, and there was one guy recently, and he was getting like he was the worst on my whole list. Like I got a list of like 40 guys, and he was the worst, and he was getting like $400 a lead. I'm like I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is awful. I talked to my media buyer. I'm like, yo, you got to save this shit. What's going on here? And then my CSM talks to him, and he's like, yeah, I just closed a big job. He's pumped. So
Yeah, just because like it was that one big job that's all that really mattered.
exactly. It's like that's the thing. That's why I like these big commercial ones because I can get somebody off a $50 lead. I can get them $1 million job. You know what I mean? Like I can. I've got bro. Last week, not last week, the week before, we got a guy a 300,000 square foot roof. We got another guy a 700,000 square foot roof, and there's another 320,000 square foot roof too. And they're charging like $5 a square foot to be.
Yeah.
So
I saw on YouTube that Devin like went down. Where did he go? He went somewhere he like fucking met a roofer or something, right?
we sent him to Michigan.
That's fucking hilarious. When was that?
When I had my baby, so 2 months ago.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he went and met one of our big partners, and this guy's a big referral partner. This guy's sent us like 10 referrals. So we made like so much money by working with this guy, right? And that's why that's why I say I like the commercial side of things, and I like people you can tap into networks, you know? So you tap into a network, and then my referral system is if you give me somebody, I will give you $500 for every single month that that person stays with me. And so
Yeah.
hypothetically, I think we've got 7 people live from Andy. Um, which so he gets 3,500 bucks a month. But I've also got 7 people that I'm charging 2,500 a month. What's that? 1,750. So my profit's 14 grand per month, and he's
Yeah, and
happy.
yeah, and yeah, and nevertheless, like you're providing real value for Andy. Like Andy obviously likes you guys. He's willing to fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you like an onboarding or a sales call, like I have like for like property management, like I have my lines rehearsed before. Like occasionally I'll get like when like a landlord wants to hire me, they're like what's the guarantee that we're gonna get a tenant, or like what's the guarantee like they're gonna pay rent, or what's the guarantee we won't get sued? And like I've got it down. I'm like, there's no guarantee. Like it's incredibly rare, but like it anything could happen. It has happened to me once or twice in the 800 rentals I've ever done. Like
Yeah.
so, I mean, you probably get shit like that too. I mean, I don't know what you tell them as far as like like if someone's like, is anyone ever like, what if I don't get anything? You know?
We actually have a guarantee, so we'll only give it to people who bring it up. But our guarantee is, if you work with us for 12 months and you don't make 500K in revenue, we will give you $10,000 for wasting your time. You have to make sure that you're setting your standards on the first call. You need to be calling these guys right away. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. It's a done with you system. You're doing the marketing for them, but they to make the sale, it it's you have to work together.
Yeah. Can I ask you one more question? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Just like the speed to lead, just like important. If like I get a lead, it's important to contact them right away. But obviously, your clients want. I mean, like you said, it's that's on your clients when they contact them, but they need to know about it like ASAP. So if they can contact them within 2 minutes, they
Mm-hmm.
at least have the opportunity to. So
Exactly. So I have an automation. You'll have an automation set up, and as soon as the lead comes in, it will tell them get to
okay,
it.
so like even if I was fucking doing carpentry, like it wouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, is that automation through
Go
Go
high
High
level.
Level?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then another thing that's cool is Go High Level has like a whole host of automations that you can do like natively on their platform, which is it's excellent. But there's this other thing you can either use Zapier or Make, and formerly Integromat, maybe you've heard of it, and you can have like automation set up like between different websites and shit, and you can have like I've just automated my whole onboarding, so they'll do the intake form with whoever on the sales call because we just hired another closer, but they'll do the intake form with whoever, and then it sends them an onboarding email. It sends them this, it sends them that, and it puts it all together. It notifies my customer success manager to go ahead and call them and set up the onboarding call and all this. So I like the automations are cool. Like once you kind of like figure it out, and it's really easy, honestly. But there's some sweet stuff you can do. And then
Yeah.
like what I'm excited for is like, bro, with AI agents are coming along, you'll be able to just like instead of hiring and training a brand new employee, you'll just train an agent based on AI to go and do this certain thing, and you're infinitely scalable now. Like the AI wave it's going to be insanity. Obviously, you're still going to need people to do certain things, but like, I don't know. We'll see. It's getting crazy, bro.
Yeah. No shit. I mean, I hear where you're coming from. Um. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. I'll cross that bridge when we get to it once I get a client. But yeah, it's like it on my level, much more rudimentary than your level at the start, at least. I mean, basically, if you're still like you did for me a long time ago, you're still basically like once someone's up onboarding, like you if it's not automated and you're doing it yourself, you're basically hopping on a call like this with them. And
Yeah. So
um,
I have an onboarding call. I no longer do them anymore. But yeah, you just do an onboarding call. You set up. You'll take them through a presentation, right? A short one for the onboarding call. Set up Facebook, and then that'll give you a chance to go ahead and work on everything in the back end. And then we do another launch call, and that's when everything goes live.
right, so onboarding call, launch call, and like really the meat and potatoes probably the onboarding call is just to make sure that they give you access to their Facebook.
Facebook, but you also want to like present a couple things. Just like you want to set you like expectations of you on them. You want to set expectations at the start too, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so set expectations. instead of an onboarding call. Yeah, I imagine a lot of people. So do most of your clients well, like would the lion's share of your clients like already have a Facebook page for their company and they just don't know how to optimize it?
Yeah, most of them.
Okay. Like, do you ever get people who are like so inept with like Facebook and computers that they're like, I can't even like I don't even have a page, I can't even set it up.
Like in the last week, we got like two guys like that. Yeah, three guys like that.
So then you just set it up for them. You'd have to charge them for it.
Took me 2 minutes. I just set up their Facebook. You can charge if you want. It's an extra service, but I mean, I just set up the Facebook and got it all rolling. I just took their logo, slapped it on there as a profile picture, put like up a thing, and then linked their website, and then I just got to it.
Oh yeah, because they're still probably gonna have a professional website if they're a professional business, right?
Yeah, a lot of the time. Sometimes I don't put the website if they wouldn't have one, but like that's maybe 5% of clients I'm setting up a page for, and
Yeah.
it's really quick. I just get my media buyer to do it.
Yeah, on the onboarding call to like ideally like in an ideal onboarding call, they're on their computer too, so they can type their credit card in at that point.
You, yeah, 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 exactly.
Because yeah, that's what I did when you set mine up a year and a bit ago. Just
Yeah,
with you, just like okay, put your credit card
yeah,
in. Okay. I think I know where to start. I'm gonna start with Max. Max is our boy Max. I'm gonna start with his shit,
yeah,
and then I'm gonna go with $1,000 budget, and yeah, go from there.
yeah. Start playing around from there, and just like think of it as like this is $1,000 that I'm blowing as part of my education. A very very good chance that it yields some results, but like you know, just think of it as anything else, like buying a course or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to eventually. I can't really afford to spend like. Well, that'd be on me if I spent like $5,000, like $1,000 buying
Bro,
course
if you
around
spent
Round North.
in 5 months, if you got nothing back, we'd have to have a chat.
Yeah, that'd be
I can't be friends with you anymore. There's something going on here. We'll get you a
yeah,
helmet and you can just go on about your business.
yeah, fair enough. All right, I mean, okay, this is where I'm gonna spend my money then on the fucking ad spend for myself.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, it's exciting. Like you can, yeah. Once you get this going, obviously, like it probably seems a little bit daunting at the start. Like when I thought, I need to start a business, but what do I start? It's kind of sketchy. What do I do? Whatever. But the thing is, like, you I don't know, you just start learning, you start picking things up, you start like gaining skills and just like implementing them, and then just like the whole game opens up to yourself, and money becomes just like, it just becomes simple at a certain point. You know what I mean? It goes from, hey, I'm making $2,000 or $3,000 a month, at a job to, and not a bad job either, well, depending. And then to all of a sudden, hey, I look down at my bank account, and I just made 90 grand last month. What's going on here? It's just like,
Yeah, no,
eh,
I get that part for
it's
sure.
beautiful.